Check 1 2. All right, if you can hear me, just trying to get some stuff set up. So sorry about the delay. Let's see if we can get some video going here. All right, getting there. Masterclass will start shortly. Gosh. Check 1 2. All right. Let me get my hat. My hair is all whacked. I'll be right back. And then we'll get the mic set up. All right, sorry everyone. I'm on a new setup and it's taking a little longer to set up than I originally thought. So just bear with me for a second. Almost there, almost there. You guys are very kind. Okay, so we got M2, Mo2 drivers. All right, just downloading a driver. All right, opening it up. Let's see if this works. Oh, of course. So close. Check 1, 2. Check test 1, 2. Check test 1, 2. Check testing 1, 2. Check test 1, 2. Check, check, test. Check, test. All right, 9 outputs, 3 and 4. Should be working. Check 1, 2. Monitor outputs 1 and 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Check test. Check test 1, 2. Check testing 1, 2. Interesting. So we got headphones and then outputs 3 and 4. And there's one input. Okay, good. Output 3 and 4. Good. Check, check, test. Check 1, 2, check test. All right, almost home. There we go. Check 1, 2, check test. All right, let's give this a shot. Check 1, 2, check testing 1, 2, check test 1, 2, check test 1, 2. Check 1, 2, check testing 1, 2, check test 1, 2, check test 1, 2. Check 1, 2, check testing 1, 2, check test 1, 2, check test 1, 2. Looks great. All right, looks great, sounds great. Got that handled. So now we just got to make another scene, scene 1. Let's duplicate that scene. Okay, call it scene 2, and scene 2 will have just that going on. Check 1, 2, check test. All right, so we got that. And we got scene 1. Good. All right, I think we're ready to go. Anybody waited? They waited 15 minutes. I owe you. I owe you. Check 1, 2. Check testing 1, 2. Check test. Check 1, 2. Check testing 1, 2. Check test. Check 1, 2. Check testing 1, 2. Check test. Check 1, 2. Check test 1, 2. Check testing. All right. All right, people of Earth, let's get started.
All right, welcome to week 4 of the Masterclass. And in this class, we're going to go over production, promotion. Let's start with production. I'm going to open up a track in our music software here, Studio One, and we'll go over a thing or two that you might be interested in. All right, when this opens, I'm going to open a project that I've been working on, one of the projects we've been working on, just to make a point. We're going to talk about how to wrap up a project and make it into a consumable piece of a consumable file that you can upload to all the, music distribution sites. Let's just see what this is. Hopefully it's kind of a full song. All right, so say we created this song, and this is our finished song, even though this is not. This is just something I created for a project. This is a finished song that we now want to basically get out of our computer and upload to iTunes and Spotify and Amazon and different sites that can, people can get your music, Bandcamp and such. So it's one thing to have your whole project inside your computer here. It's another thing to get it out. So what do you do to get the project, your song, out of the computer? Well, the first thing you want to do is make sure you have a proper mix down. See, I turned on my mixer here. I'm just going to shrink it a little bit just to make it a little easier on the eyes. Okay, here's our mixer. And we got, 4 tracks here. And this is our whole song, and these are all the levels. And when we made, in the earlier lessons of the Masterclass, we went and we tweaked this so all the sounds in the song sound good together. The final thing you want to do after you put all this stuff together is what's called a mix down. Think of your mixer like this. You have all your instruments that you made in the earlier lessons, right? Synthesizers, basses, drums, and such. And once they all sound good together and you're happy with that mix, think of them all as being sent to this one on the end, your main master fader, your main output. This is the last stop. I'm going to just double click it to open it up to make it bigger. This is kind of the last stop before all of your music leaves the program and gets dumped into an MP3 file or a WAV file. Now, some professionals typically will, let's say professional musicians or artists will record their voice and the guitar and the keyboards and all the instruments and stuff. And then they leave it up, if their budget is kind of big and or unlimited, they leave it up to the mixing engineer to take all the stuff that they recorded and make it sound good in the software. Now, throughout this course, I basically told you how to make it sound good in the software. So once it sounds good in the software, it goes to this final track here. Now, some mixing engineers, the people who mix all the levels of everything, will put a little special sauce on the song to make it sound professional and radio ready. And that's called mixing. It's mixing down. And so they'll put stuff in, like effects in here. Like, see this mix effects? This little arrow at the top? You can load up like a plugin to give the entire song a sound as if it's running through an old mixing board, an old school mixing board. If you look at some of these pictures, and like old school mixing board in the studio, like this one over here. People use these consoles, these mixing boards, it's the same thing, console, mixing board, in the studio, not just to tweak each individual track, but to give the song this whole cohesive sound that only that mixing board can give. Like certain mixing boards, I know studio owners who buy certain mixing boards because it has a certain sound. When you put music through it, it just sounds a certain way. It's warm, or it's punchy, or it's different companies have different characteristics of mixing boards. Well, we don't have a mixing board like this, obviously. And I'm kind of happy we don't, because it's big and it would fill my whole room. I wouldn't have room for anything else, and I don't need it. But you do miss the sound of that mixing board in your final mix, in the way your song is after it leaves the software. If you're just using software, you miss this. I mean, I know some producers who record their whole song inside the software, then take it to a studio. They run just a stereo sound in their songs in stereo into one of those boards, just 2 little channels, 1 and 2, and then pop it out the other side and record what comes out the other side, just because they want the sound of that board. So they literally have their laptops, and they just go to a recording studio. They plug 2 cables into that giant board, and they just record what comes out the end, and it's got this warm, cohesive sound to it, or whatever character they want. They use those boards for that. Well, Studio One has like an emulation of that. It tries to copy what the board provides with these mix effects. Like I picked one called Alpine Desk. I don't know if Alpine's a company or what, but here's a British console. This is like a British mixing board. So this might be more like the one we just saw. If you look at the knobs, this looks like an SSL. So let's just solid state logic mixing board. Let's just see a solid state logic mixing board. You'll be able to tell. Okay, check out the knobs. See the knobs in this picture? Oh, wait, sorry. See the knobs of this picture for solid state mixing board, SSL. That's the company name. It's not the circuitry. These are what the knobs typically look like on a SSL console or an SSL mixer. Now, if you go to Studio One, they can't obviously use SSL like the name SSL, so they use British. But look at the knobs on this. Looks kind of the same as those knobs here, if you're looking at them dead on, straight down. See, if you look at those straight down, they kind of look like these, don't they? So this is basically trying to emulate that giant mixing board with this mix plugin here. And you can only get this mix effect here on the final track. Because like I said, when you're done your whole song, you want to run your whole song through the console to get that sound, you know? So these try to emulate that. So this one's British console. Let's just mess with this one. I actually don't have too much experience using these, so I don't know how it's going to sound or what kind of character I can impart to it or whatever. But let's just play it and see if it makes a difference. Here it is with it on. Here's off. Here's on. I'm going to add some stuff to it while it's on because it didn't really add much. Maybe there's some presets. Okay, here's some presets. I'm just going to cycle through some of these presets up here and see if this imparts any character that we like into our final mix. All right, as you can see, I was hitting the power button here, turning it off and on for the different presets. It does add something. It gives it a little extra something. And if you want to get all technical, you could just start turning these knobs and finding out what each of these things do. But essentially what these mix effects do is they try to emulate a giant mixing board. And so it gives you a little extra character. Think of it as like a little extra character. It could be in the bass. It could be in the treble. It could be some unexplained quality to the sound that this imparts. So that's a fun thing to play with for your final mix before you turn your song into an MP3 or whatever. And then if you go under here, under inserts, you'll see a folder for mixing. Now this basically does a similar thing to the mix effects up here. In other words, it knows this is your final mix. You're on the final track out here. Under mixing, if you put some of these on, like a 2-band master comp, I don't know what that is. It's a whole chain of effects with compressors and stuff like this on here to help mix your sound into a more cohesive professional sound. So this is a whole chain of effects that somebody smarter than me put in there to try to make a good mix down. Let's hear how it sounds. All right, it definitely gives it a sound. Let's see what other mix effects, mixing chains we could put in. 3-band compressor. Let's sound. Okay, I like the way this 3-band compressor sounds. So basically, somebody created this who knows what should be put on this final mixing chain here. And they put basically a bunch of compressors together to give you a more cohesive type of sound. So putting compressors on your final mixing bus there will kind of squash your sound a little bit to give it a more like listenable type of sound. So you might not get as boomy of the bass. You might not get some volume way up high, but as a whole, it sounds good together. These are things you can experiment with. I don't even know the best ones to use at this point. I'm not a mixing engineer. I am more of a musician. I'm the artist that puts the instruments into the program, into the tracks, and then I don't have a mixing engineer that mixes down all my stuff at this point, so I end up being the mixing engineer. So I would be the one just using these compressors and stuff and finding out what sound I like the best. So I'm explaining this to you just because I want you to know it's there. I don't expect you to even be a mixing engineer yourself, just to know it's there. That's what these are. These are mixing. These are a chain of effects at the very end of your song to make it sound better. So that's what those are. And finally, so I guess the moral of that story is find something. If you mess around with these chains, like go do what I did, go into mixing and try all of these. See if you love any of them. If you just like one but don't love it, maybe you could tweak something in it. Maybe you could go into a compressor and say, I think I should turn this down or something like that, if you know what you're doing. So that's just something to use to help get better final mixes out of your program. Like the moral of this video is to basically allow you to see how you can get a professional sounding song popped out of your software and into an MP3. And that's what these effects and all these things I'm talking about are for. So I think I said enough on that. And then finally, there is one effect that I usually put at the end of my my mix. It's called a limiter, because no matter what I'm doing, I don't want my sound to be distorted, you know? So, let's see. And a limiter is think of it as like a brick wall. Like I'm going to put this threshold to 0, okay? So it's 0. Think of it as a brick wall now that all the sound that's coming through your program cannot possibly move past 0. Because if it moves past 0, it's going to sound distorted. And so you never want anything to go past 0 on your meter here in the limiter. So what a limiter basically does, if you have the settings the way I just did, and they are basically like that when you open it up for default, except I just took the threshold because this limiter is set to not go past 3. I want mine to not go past 0. So I'm just going to go to 0. So anything that tries to be too loud and go past zero and get distorted is stopped by this limiter. Watch. See what I did? I turned the gain up of the entire song, and I tried to push it through the limiter. And anytime you see yellow, that's how much work the limiter's doing to squash it back down past zero. You don't want it to go past zero. So it's saying, I'm working really hard here. Look what I'm doing. I'm working really hard. So with the gain at zero here, you just see a little tiny touch in the yellow, a little bit of tiny touch in the yellow. So it's a safe thing to do to just chuck a limiter at the very end under post here, because post is the last bus stop before the sound leaves Studio One. Anything above that comes before. So these inserts all come before post. This mix effect, I'm not sure when that comes, to be honest. I think it comes before post. It has to. That comes before post. So if you put something in post, think of it as like the last bastion of, is that the word? Barrier? The last place where, what does bastion mean? I gotta look it up. Let's Google bastion. A bastion. What does bastion mean? Something that keeps or defends a belief or way of life that is disappearing or threatened. A projecting part of a fortification. All right. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I just want to make sure I know what this is. All right. Anyway, it's the last stop before something leaves your software. All right. So that's why I put a limiter there, because it's like literally having a brick wall that's stopping any distortion. Anything that's coming in too hot, it's going, cool your jets, bro. Just chill and leave the program properly. And that's what a limiter does. So that's why I put a limiter there. So we just basically covered mixing, like how to do a mix down. It's not just setting all your levels here in the software, volume-wise, and putting effects on all this stuff, like these effects that I put on in the earlier videos. It's what to do when it gets to the end, when it gets to the master. So just know that some people put stuff here at the master to give it a little bit of character, to maybe calm it down a little bit, compress it down, make it sound more consistent, more listenable. And there's ways to do that. And that's what these mixing effects chains are. And that's what this mix effect is. Getting your whole song to sound a little bit better and a little bit more listenable and professional. So once you have all these set to your liking, right? And I just moved all these volumes around. So let me just tweak these volumes to get a good mix sound going. Happy with it. All right, we need more drums. Okay. All right, how about this? Okay, good. I'm happy with that. So those levels, I'm happy with the way those levels are set. I'm happy with all my mix effects here. I like the British console. I think that's got a good character to it. All these effects are fine. I like this effects chain. It's all good. We're all happy. And I got a limiter at the end to stop all that extra crap that comes through, if any. Now what do we do? So now we want to make it into an MP3 or a WAV file. We want to get it out of the program. So that's what I'm going to do now. So if you go to Song, Export Mix Down, this is how you get it out of a program. Out of the program. And you could make it into a WAV file. You could make it into any of these audio files, or even an MP3 file, or both, WAV and MP3. Whatever one is checked, when you hit OK, it will export that song out of there in that format. Now, you can pick what folder you want it to go to by clicking here. And you can click what you want to name the mix down. Like you can put the name of the song, mix down, or whatever you want to do. And finally, it's going to ask, well, what do you want to export? Like what part of the song? Do you want to do whatever's under this loop? And this is what I usually do. I keep it between loop. So it's only going to mix down what's underneath your loop region. And we went over loop regions in the earlier videos. That's what this blue bar is. So that's technically wrong. I want it to mix down the whole song, not just what's under here. So I need to make sure my whole song is under here, and maybe add a little bit at the end, because this is going to have some reverb trails at the end. So maybe to take this to 10. So I'm only going to mix down now everything that's under my blue bar. That's what the loop region is. So if we go back to mix down, export mix down, and I go to between loop, now we're set properly. It's got the whole song is under the loop region. So you got to make sure you do that. Otherwise, it won't mix down the whole song. And I'm just going to hit OK. And it's going to do one first and maybe the MP3 second. Oh, it did them both real quick. It's a short song. So now I have my wave and my MP3. This is my MP3 at the top, and this one at the bottom is my wave file. So if I close Studio One at this point, and I double click on Mixdown, it should play it. There we go. Cool. So the WAV file worked. How about the MP3? Sounds good. So I got my MP3 and I got my WAV. I'm going to open Studio One up because there's one other setting I want to show you on the MP3. In the early days of uploading stuff to the internet, you didn't want your file size too big because bandwidth and the cloud wasn't really there, and these companies didn't want you to have huge files just sitting on their servers doing nothing. So you had to be cautious about how big your files were that you're uploading. That's kind of going away now. There's lots of space on the internet, and there's lots of bandwidth in your internet connections. So if you're going to Mixdown and you mix an MP3, I like to do mine at 320. It's the highest quality. If you go from 320 to like 128, which kind of used to be like a standard, you're going to hear a difference, and you want your stuff to sound good. So there's no reason at this point to not go to the top MP3 quality. So that's the only number you really want to change if it's not changed for you in MP3. Crank that thing up to 320. Everybody will be happy. Unless the service that you're using requests 192 or 128, like you got all these options. 128, 192, they might request a certain bit rate. But if they don't, send them the highest quality, man, because you want your stuff to sound good. For WAV, I'm totally happy with 24-bit 44.1. 24-bit 44.1, it's kind of standard, so I just use that for my WAV. WAVs are always going to sound better than MP3s because there's no quality lost in a WAV, but there is quality lost when you make an MP3, which is why MP3s are much smaller. Got it? All right. We got our stuff out of our program, and now we need to upload it somewhere, get it promoted. So let's just go over some promotion things. Number one, and this is something that I just did 2 days ago, to be honest. Me and my bass player of my band, Area 52, we signed up for a certain company. We went to ASCAP. See, if you are an artist and you are going to get your stuff played you want to get your stuff played in certain placements and maybe in bars and restaurants and planes and airports and TV and radio and any of these spots that are out in the public, you want to get paid royalties for that. You want to get money. And unless you sign up with a published, what are these called? Publishing rights organizations? Let me just see what they are. PROs. I can't remember what it stands for. Okay, a performing rights organization, PRO. A PRO is an agency that ensures songwriters and publishers are paid for the use of their music by collecting royalties, money, on behalf of the rights owner. PROs collect public performance royalties. So if you want to get money and have an organization that's keeping their eye open for when your stuff is played, you got to sign up with one of these performing rights organizations. And I signed up with ASCAP 2 days ago because Area 52 is making some tracks, and we're going to have them out there soon, an EP release, and it's going to be played in certain places. We want to get paid. So a company like ASCAP and BMI is the other big one, are organizations that you sign up with, and they will make sure that you get paid when your stuff gets out there, because all of these venues that are playing this stuff and stations and companies, they have to I think they have to check with ASCAP where that song came from, so you guys who wrote it get the money. I don't know exactly how it works to that degree yet, but I know to get paid, you want to sign up with one of these companies. All right, so that's ASCAP, and that's performing rights organizations. Think of it as, if my stuff gets played on the radio or whatever is being played now, or TV, I want to get paid. So that's what this company does. These companies do. It's not free either. It was $50 to sign up with ASCAP, and there's a little bit of a thing here too. I was doing one more thing. ASCAP. So all right. So if you're a music creator, this is okay. If you're a music creator, you click here. If you're a company that plays music out in your restaurants and stuff, you use it, you put it here. I use music in my business. So we're going to do this. I write, compose, or publish music. And what you want to do is, here, let me see, sign up. Join. Here. I don't want to get too deep into this, but just know that if you just sign up as a writer, right, the person who wrote the music, you're only going to get half of the money that you should get, because the other half is going to go to what's called a publisher. And a publisher is a person or company that handles the business side of the music. They may control the copyrights, blah, blah, blah. They're people that get the music over to these companies. They give the music to these companies to get it played. If you don't sign up as the publisher as well, like if you don't have a publisher, you're not going to get paid half of the money. Half of the money goes to the publisher. So ASCAP strongly recommends, and I did pay him another $50 for this, so it was $100 total. I signed up as a writer and a publisher, and when I signed up as a writer and a publisher, I get 100% of the money now, 100% of the royalties, because I'm the publisher and I'm also the writer. Even though I don't have a publishing company, you don't really need one, but you have to be in ASCAP as the publisher, or somebody else is going to get the money. So that's why you should sign up as a publisher, apparently, and that's what I did, and I think that was a smart thing to do. Time will tell. Writer, publisher. I hope I cleared that up. Okay, so that's one thing to do before you upload your music somewhere. Make sure that, or put your music out there somewhere. You might want to sign up with a performing rights organization. Another thing that you should do, and I hate that I have to do this for every song. I'm actually really pissed off about doing it. Copywriting your music. Here's the thing. It says it right here. First, you should know that copyright protection exists from the moment an original work is fixed, which means created and put into a form that can be listened to in a tangible medium. When you record a song, it's basically copyrighted from the second you create it and put it into a medium that people can listen to. So why do you need to get it copyrighted with a government agency? Apparently, that's not enough to hold up in court even though it's legally copyrighted when you create something and put it down, it's not provable in court, apparently. So if you copyright it, you have a legal record that you created it, and then you can be protected if somebody steals it. And I think it's like $45 a song every time you do this, and you have to copyright it. Pain in the ass. I hate that I have to do that. Hate it. But apparently if you want to cover your ass, you got to do that. That's what copywriting is. All right, enough about that technicalities, the technicalities there. We talked about copyright. We talked about performing rights. Okay, say you did those two things because you wanted to cover your butt, and now you want to get it out to like iTunes and places like that. A lot of people are using DistroKid, it's company, distrokid.com. Upload and sell your music on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, blah, blah, blah. DistroKid is the easiest way for musicians to get into those marketplaces. I've not signed up with this yet because I haven't released many albums. I've just been creating music for my own enjoyment and for educational purposes to teach. I haven't released albums pretty much my whole life. So I'm in the midst of doing that right now, just so you know. We're probably going to use DistroKid to get into Spotify, Apple, looks like TikTok, Pandora, Instagram, YouTube, Deezer, blah, blah, blah. And it's a monthly fee. And I think it's pretty easy. You know, I've heard people kind of know what they're talking about, you talking about this, and I think it's fine. Pay only $19.99 to upload unlimited albums and songs for a year and get in stores 10 to 20 times faster than any other distributor. It's worth looking into. I'm not the expert on distribution websites. That's not the marketing I was talking about, the promotion I was talking about when I pumped up my Masterclass. I'm going to explain that in a second. But a lot of people do use this, from my understanding. And then there's other people that just, they don't want to be in all those markets necessarily, but they want to have a spot on the internet where they can upload their albums and people can buy it straight up. Like they could just send them to the website or send them from their website to a place to buy their music. And a lot of people use Bandcamp for that. And that's this site here, Bandcamp. And in Bandcamp, you know, you upload your album and somebody can buy it. Like say I wanted to buy LP Orange Vinyl Buds. I click that. I could hear some samples of it. And then if I want to buy it, I could buy, a cassette. Oh my God. Buy record or vinyl. Interesting. Wow. So this is vinyl. You could, I guess, and I don't know if Bandcamp actually creates the vinyl. I'm not sure. Let's try something else now. Let's see. Selling right now. Okay, how about this person? Buy the digital track for $2. Think of Bandcamp as an easy way where you can upload your music and sell it. Easy. And get paid easy. Without distributing it throughout the world, without worrying about get it played on air and different TV shows and stuff like that. This is just, you have an album, you want to sell it, let's put it on Bandcamp and let's tell all our friends. Okay, that's the way I look at it. Tell our friends and family, we'll post it on Facebook and hope everybody buys it and we'll be rich. I mean, I say that jokingly because that is a lot of people's marketing strategy. And it's a shame. It's not necessarily bad, but that depends what your aspirations are. I'm not busting on Bandcamp at all. I think it's a fine service. And I might be using it for something in the future. I don't even know. I think it's solid, and I think a lot of people use it for simplicity. Now, here's how I'm going to market my music when I create my album. We're recording an EP. That's currently happening right now. And once my EP is done, I'm going to show you my marketing strategy. Because before I started Doll Junkie and this website, I was a digital marketer. And I think that that's one of the most important skills you could learn in life is how to market yourself online. Once you know that, you have the power now to get a message out to millions of people, possibly instantly, if you know what you're doing. And that's just pure power as far as influence, getting somebody aware of something that you have. Like if I try to sell this mouse, right? I can go, I'm going to post this mouse on Facebook and hopefully my friends will see it and buy it and tell their friends. And then my mom will probably buy one. Or I could create basically a strategy where thousands of people are buying this mouse every day. And that's what I'm going for. And you could learn how people are doing that by studying digital marketing. My favorite marketing book is from, and I recommend everybody read this if they want to start marketing stuff online. It's like the Bible of internet marketing. It's called .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. And you can basically get the book free. You just pay shipping on this website, .comsecrets.com. Reserve my free copy now. Only pay $9.95. Bam. Okay? And that book is gold. If you read it, you will understand what I'm talking about, and then you'll be like, oh, Steve, I understand what you mean about selling things online now and how much money you can make. I mean, you can make so much money by just doing smart marketing and doing it the way Russell Brunson does it and his teaching, that it might be pretty unreal to you. But anyway, here's the gist of how I would market something now based on the principles of this book. So you can either listen to me right now and believe me, or you can read the book and get all the details for yourself. But this is me telling you my game plan of what I understood from the book and what I've done in the past for the digital marketing jobs I've had. I use what's in this book for a lot of my digital marketing strategies. So it's a great thing for you to know. I mean, some of you might not want to learn marketing, but if you have a band's technically a business, and you want to market your business, somebody needs to know marketing. Why not have it be you? So you could trust yourself. Because here's the second thing. There's a lot of shady marketing companies out there that will take your money and not deliver because they don't know how. Okay? They probably haven't read this book. You read this book, I bet you will know 80% more than most marketing companies out there. It's not a fact. Like, this is not hard statistical data. That's my opinion, but that's what I think. All right, so let me explain this. I'm going to open up Microsoft Paint. All right. Here's how I would sell an EP after we make one. I'm going to get a marker here. Brush. No, I want a marker. How does this look? I want it thicker. Size. Thicker. Okay, let's try this. Here we go. So, Steve made an EP. No, let me change one thing. Okay. Steve made an EP. Or Area 52 made an EP. It's our EP. There's like 5 songs on it, let's say. How do I get all these people over here to buy it? All right, here's what I would do. I would use what's called a sales funnel, okay? And think of a funnel as literally like what a funnel looks like. This shape coming in, getting smaller and smaller. And think of it as like you're pouring people in the top of the funnel, people that might be interested in your album. And at the bottom of the funnel are the people that actually buy your stuff. So how do you get the people that you're sprinkling in the top to buy your album? Here's how I would do it. I would run a Facebook ad or an ad on TikTok or Instagram or something like that. And it would basically say, listen. And it would be a sample of one of my songs. Not the whole song, just a sample of one of my songs. And I would be like, listen, yo. And you make like an interesting ad that has your music in it and just a sample, like maybe your best hook or your best stuff. Something that if somebody had their speaker on and they heard it, they would go, dude, I want to hear more of that. So I would run a Facebook ad that says, listen to this, and play a little bit of your song, maybe like 15 seconds or so of it. And the people that see that ad, you would then say, okay, to hear the whole song, I'll give you this song for free, the whole song for free. Click here. And so they click on your ad and they go to a page where they get the free song in exchange for their name and email address. This is the biggest mistake that almost every company makes that doesn't do this. Like this is the submit button. This is name, this is email address, and this is the submit button here. And once they fill in that information and they press the button, they get your song. Okay, so here's the biggest mistake. Oh, God, you guys aren't seeing this. Damn. All right, hopefully you saw it in the screen. But here's what it looks like here. Let's just recap. You make an EP. I'm so sorry about that. You make an EP. You don't just upload to Bandcamp and cross your fingers. That's no. Like, do not do that. Don't upload to Bandcamp and cross your fingers. Instead, you run a Facebook ad, which you can learn how to do Facebook ads pretty easily. And if you ask me and comment, maybe I'll do a course on how to do a Facebook ad for your music. I will definitely consider that if there's enough interest. You make an ad that says, listen, and you put 15 seconds or so of your song in there, your best parts. When somebody hears it, they go, man, I want to hear more of that. What the hell was that? It was awesome. And you go, if you want the whole song for free, click here. And then once they click on the ad, they go to a page where they submit their name and email address, and they get the free song downloaded to them or emailed to them once they submit that. You might be asking at this point, Steve, I don't know how to build all these pages you're talking about. Well, there's really easy software there's one called ClickFunnels. Most people use it, and it's software that allows anybody to create pages super easy that look really professional, that you can do what I'm talking about here in these funnels, where you can make the opt-in form for the name and email address. Super easy. It's all pre-made. You just change the words and the colors and the graphics and stuff. And it's really easy. So there's ClickFunnels for that. I recommend it. You could go to clickfunnels.com and check it out. It's from the same dude that wrote the book, actually. But you could see some pictures of like the cool websites you can make and how easy it is. It's very drag and drop. You just drag text, and you could sell stuff on there, and you could have people fill in their name and email address and blah, blah, blah. So you can check out ClickFunnels on your own time. And so they fill out their name and email address to get the full song. Okay? But that's not all. As soon as they hit submit, the submit button here to get the free song, here's what you do. You send them to another page. The thank you page has to say this. It'll say, thank you. Your song has been emailed to you. Check your inbox in 10 minutes. All right? So now you created a 10-minute window for yourself. You shouldn't say, great, go check your email right now and get the song. You don't want them to do that. You say, wait, check your email in 10 minutes. And then you say something like, if you liked that song, get in on our newly released, brand new, like highly anticipated EP that's going to blow your mind, change your day, and cause you to be in the best mood you've been in the past 10 years. Like, promote it somehow. Like, tell them the result they're going to get from your music. Say something like, yeah, check your email in 10 minutes. If you liked that song, what you just heard, wait till you hear the other 4 songs on our EP. They will take you from whatever you are sitting in right now and pop you out of your head into a mood that you have been wanting to be in for the last week. Or say, picture Christmas morning and you are opening presents. You will experience that pleasure by listening to our EP. I don't know how you want to market it, but I would use stuff like that to create an emotion in their head of a result you want to give them. What does your music do to somebody? Listen to REP. Okay, if you like that song, listen to REP. It will fire you up so much. You will run to the gym right now, no matter if it's 5 miles away, on foot, and start pumping weights immediately. You will have so much energy and your spirit will be so lifted. Once you tell your friends about this, they are all going to thank you for the rest of their lives. These are just some things like maybe I would say along those lines. It's all coming off the top of my head, but you get the idea. Promote your EP and then sell your EP and say also like this at the end. After you promote it like that, you tell them how great it is, how great it's going to make them feel, what their mood's going to be like afterwards, what their productivity and their energy level is going to be afterwards. You say, we are releasing it to you right now as an early adopter for a one-time price of like let's just say $5. It will never be, you will never see this price again. It's in Bandcamp right now for $13.99. Right now you have this one chance to get it for $5. Okay. So let's say you sell for like $5. Some of the people are going to take you up on that. Not all of them. There might be 10 people that come through here a day, and maybe 2 of them take you up on this. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Not everybody's going to do it, and don't take a loss if not everybody does. So you got this going on. Let me just check if I'm still recording because I want to make sure. Okay, good. So you got your EP, and some people bought it for $5. Okay, and that's great. You made some money. But there's one final step I would do. Because once somebody opens their wallet and pays you some money, it's much, 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 much easier to get them to buy something else immediately. They had that dopamine rush. When you buy something, you get like a physical, mental, and physical reaction. And have you ever noticed like you go Christmas shopping and you're like, I don't know what to get anybody. As soon as you buy that first thing, the flow is open and you go, oh, they'll like this. They'll like this. I'll buy this. I'll buy this. And you can just walk down that little line at the front register and everything on the shelf is jumping off at you, then you should buy it. And you buy half of it. Like it's so much easier to buy stuff after you buy the one thing. Buying the EP just opened the flow. Okay. This isn't the end game here. The next thing you should say is, great. You're going to love the EP. And we really appreciate you being a fan. In fact, you're probably one of our biggest fans right now by taking us up on that offer. Our fan club is suited for people particularly like you. People who love, let's just say, pop, punk, alternative music and go crazy about it. If you join our fan club, next time we come to your town, we are going to drag your butt up on stage and you are going to sing, I don't know, pick your most popular song. You're going to sing The Big Shame with us live on stage. Or if you join our fan club right now, the whole band is going to sign this something and send it to you in the next week as a token of our appreciation. If you join our fan club right now, you're going to get in once a month on a live, just exclusive Zoom call with just our best fans that you can ask us whatever you want, and we're gonna hang out and party for half an hour over Zoom. Offer them some nice, cool things to be part of the fan club or something like this. Just offer them something and say, look, it's only like $47 for the whole year. Next year, we're probably going to raise it to $300 or something like that. Or in the next day, it could go up to $300. I cannot promise this price forever, but you sell it for something like that, like say $47. And you pump up your fan club and you give them things. You give them things that fans would want. Fans don't want they don't want other people's merch. They want access to you, you know? So think of it as a fan. Like think about your favorite band and what you would love your favorite band to offer you that you would pay for. Make that what your fan club offers your fans. So think with that. Think with what can I offer somebody that's worth $47 that they would think is a no-brainer and would definitely do. And then you got to make it urgent. You'd be like, this price could disappear probably like in the next 5 minutes. So join now, get in early on our fan club, and then do some other benefits like we were talking about with the EP. Say, when you're our fan, you're going to have exclusive access to us that your friends are going to be jealous of you. Not only that, they're going to think highly of you as the friend that is connected to the band that everybody is freaking out about right now. If you join our fan club, you're going to have a connection with us that's really special and and most of the planet does not and will never have. Create something about that they're going to love. And then here's what you do. Some people are going to take you up on that. Not all of it. But say you have all these people out here. Like this is the Facebook ad here on the left. And you have all these people out here you showed your ad to. These are all the people. A bunch of them see the ad and they love it and they go, yeah, I want that song. So you got like maybe 10 people here out of that bunch per day that took you up on this. And I said, okay, maybe a few of them, let's just say 5, take you up on the EP. And then maybe only 1 or 2 of them take you up on the fan club. That's okay. So for that day, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's $25 from the EP you made. And 2 people took you up on the fan club. That's almost $100. So let's just say you made $120 that day. So that equals like $120 you made that day. Well, you're like, Steve, you told me to run an ad, not just do a post. Like ads cost money, right? Well, you're going to have to pay for the first kind of like batch out of your own pocket, maybe $10. All you got to do is $10 a day to start off. That's fine to do for ads. Once you have your EP out there and this is all set up, you just run an ad for $10 a day and run it for a week. Okay, you spent under $100. You run an ad for $10 a day. If all goes well, let's just say you made 120. Now, these are real hot, lofty numbers. Okay. More realistically, you might. Yeah, you know what? If your funnel is good enough, and that's what this is, by the way. This whole thing is a funnel. Picture what I drew. Kind of going like from the side of the screen, going like, how can I do this? Like a funnel. I can't do it with my hands. Like this. Okay. And then you funneled the people at the very end. Those are the people that are in your fan club. But you started out with the ad, added all these people, and then he's going EP fan club, and then just only a few pop out at the end. But the few that pop out at the end paid you money. Here's what you do with that money. You take that money, and you don't go out and you don't buy Lambos, you don't buy Ferraris, Maseratis, whatever floats your boat, yachts. You don't even go out and buy like a new laptop or new guitar or something just yet. You take that money and you buy more ads. So now you got this money, $120 a day instead of just 10. You got $120 a day now. That's going to create this many more people, which is going to create this many more sales. You just 10 times basically what you did, which is going to create this many more fan clubs, which is going to create a 0 at the end of this guy. Oops, where's my brush? A 0 at the end of this guy. So now you're making $1,200 a day, all right? And then that money goes back into ads. So now you're spending $1,200 a day on ads, and now you're making $120 or $12,000 a day. Like this, okay, these are ideal numbers, but this is how it works. You build a funnel that runs an ad that gets people to buy stuff, where you take that money and you put it back into the ad to get people to buy more stuff, which creates more money that goes back into the ad, which gets people to buy more stuff. You see where I'm going with this? This is what's called scalable, meaning there's no limit to how high you can go with this. If you start with $10 a day and say you just made $10 at the end on an average. You spent $10 and you made $10 at the end after they pop out the fan club or whatever, maybe you only had one sign up or however it shakes out. For every $1 you put in, you get $1 out at the end. You take that $1 out at the end and you put that back in the top. And then you could just scale that up. You're not losing any money, but I'll tell you what you are making. Even though you're not making any money, you are gathering so many names and email addresses. It could be thousands of them a day that are now on your mailing list. And this is the true goal, building this list up. This list is your business. This list is your fans. This list is going to make you money. This list is gold. It's just going to grow to thousands and thousands and thousands. Once you have that many thousands of people on your mailing list, you could email them whenever something new comes out, whenever you come out with a shirt, whenever you're in their town, whenever you have a new special price for the fan club, whenever you have a new EP that comes out, maybe you want to release a single for a certain price, whenever the lead singer gets a new suit and wants to show it to everybody, the latest news, blah, blah, blah. You want to collect identities of people who are interested in the kind of thing you guys are doing. And once this list gets big enough, you cannot be stopped, okay? You could even stop running. Say this list gets up to 1 million people. You could stop running ads and just send your list an email once a week with something you're promoting. New t-shirt, new hat, new stickers, signed autograph, new fan club membership tier, something like that. If you're sending it out to 1 million people a week, every week, you're going to make gobs of money. And you're going to get your message out to everybody who wants to hear it. Not only is this just a way to make money, this is a way to get your stuff out there faster than posting something on your Facebook feed for your mom and 3 friends to see. So I basically just showed you here a blueprint of how I would do it and how I am going to do it with Area 52. I'm going to keep you updated on it. Like I said, I've done this for other products in the past. I've never done it for a band, but these are like natural laws. These are marketing fundamentals. This stuff should work with anything. And it works for a lot of business stuff I'm doing and different products. I'm using it for Doll Junkie. The reason you are watching this course is because I made a funnel and you bought it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a scam or anything. It's a marketing technique and a business strategy to help grow businesses or bands or organizations or anything faster than anything else that I can imagine. That's what this is all about. Use this technology and these strategies and skills as an artist to blow yourself up bigger than anybody out there and faster than anybody out there. If you want to know more about this and want me to do like a whole course on funnels, send me an email, mail@dolljunkie.com, fill out a support ticket. I don't know, comment on me somewhere. I'm all over the place. And that's going to be it for today's masterclass. I hope you guys got a lot out of it, and thank you for buying it. I'll see you in the next one.